This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do, when you get to your station.
Wait, I'm not seeing your screen.
Okay. Let me add to Chrome, right?
You should already have it.
Like the last time? Oh, okay, I should already have it. Switch to desktop. Still asking me the same things.
All right, here I come.
So, share screen one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Start here. Here. Okay, so I'm good to go. All right. This is the beginning of Epiphany RX training, the Laker training, which is replacing the EHO tool that we now know. First thing you have to do is log in to the VPN. On the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see a blue box cube. Open that. It'll say perimeter 81. Now, then you're going to open up the VPN test login. Has all this information in here. Workspace, username, password. Now this thing is already connected. So I want to get out of this. And so I can show you how to get all the way in it. I'm going to sign out. Now, G, is it still recording? G, can you tell if it's still recording? Oh, it is. Okay. Echoing. Here we go. Perimeter 81. Sign in under Archimedes. You see where it says workspace on your notepad. Now, you put Archimedes RX right here, and you press continue. Now, once you do this once and you save it, it's going to autofill the Archimedes, as you saw. This is going to show up, and then we have to log in now to the parameter 81. Right here, the username is George. See that? If you're new, you'll have to copy and paste it. Don't leave any extra blue. Copy and paste it. It's already in there. Okay? And then you'll have to copy and paste your password. Now I'm putting not my account so you can see I copy and paste it there. And now I'm going to copy and paste this password. Copy. and paste. Log in. This gets us into the VPN, as you can see. Succeeded. You can knock that down. Move that to the side. It's loading. Now, it says connect. We will do just that. These are the steps you take before you take your first call. Because if your first call is Epiphany RX, that call is on hold. Just like you set up Cedars, Kidders, you have to set this up. It is set up. It says disconnect because now it's connected. Time connected, 23, 24, 25 seconds. Now we're going to go into right here, the RX, the farmer screen. The farmer screen is the EHO tool. Okay, that is what is replacing the EHO tool as we know it now. It is farmer screen. Your username, you'll have your own username. I'm going to use Betos for now, for an example. And I'm going to use the password, which is capital P, A, instead of S's, $, okay? W, and then it's, instead of O, it's 0, and then it's RD1. We log in. Now, it shows pink. It shows pink now because it's in a demo mode. Okay? So we know it's working. Now, just to regroup, we log in. First thing you do before you take a phone call. We're going to talk about 5 things that you're going to always do and always need, just like you do in the old system. I'm going to show you how to search a member. I'm going to show you how to request an ID card. I'm going to show you how to look up PA, prior authorization information. I'm going to show you how to look up a transaction, meaning a prescription. And that's the same thing as a rejection, if you would. And I'm going to show you call tracking, which is comments. Okay? So, first off, member search. You go screens, you go eligibility, you click on member. Now, this screen comes up. We'll make it larger. This is the screen that should always stay up while you're working, because you're always going to search a member. You never not search a member. Now, for those who like shortcuts, you can do Control M, and you get the same field. Now, when looking up a member, you use the last name and the date of birth. Now, we're going to put in Smith, and then we're going to hit binoculars. When you want to search something, you hit the binoculars. Click on the binoculars. You see what it says here? You have 1,031 matches. You have to restrict it because there's so many. So maybe you get the person's first name. So let's just say it's A, just for our purposes. We search again. It has, it has 81 matches. You'll see that sometimes. So just say yes, and now another field is going to come up, and it's going to show you all of the Smiths. Oh, it's Alexander Smith is what I'm looking for, right over here, okay? All I'm going to do with Alexander Smith is I'm going to slide over here to the left. See that arrow? I'm going to double click, and all his information is going to fill into our box. What do we see? What we need. Last name, first name, date of birth. We have just confirmed HIPAA, okay? Social Security, we don't need that, but we've just confirmed HIPAA by name, date of birth. We want to get an address. You click on Info 2. There's your address on the tabs to the right. Let's go back to Info 1, the regular tab. At the bottom, it tells you the eligibility dates. It started November 2016. Down here, that's the group number, E0027B. That's the carrier. whether it's Whirlpool, whether it's Blunt Memorial, that's the carrier. And I'll show you how to find the carrier, the name of that carrier later on. Now, we've searched a member by first name, get the last name in case it's a common last name, so you'll get your searches. Again, if you have Smith, you have a whole bunch, you have to narrow it down. As you can see, all of these are Smiths. The red means inactive, okay? Red means inactive. Now, moving on, you learn how to search a member. That's what you're always going to need to do, okay? The next thing they always ask you for is, I haven't received my cards. We'll get a lot of those starting January 1, January 2, and going forward 2019. How do you get a card? You simply go to Info tab right here, 2. Now, because they're doing updates to the system now, this card date here, it would be filled out. It would actually have a date of birth, or when that was going to be filled in. What you do, let's go back here, is what you would do. In fact, let's do this. I'm going to move out of here and go to the test screen, okay? So I'm going to X out of here. I'm going to X out of here. And remember, how do we get back? Screen, eligibility, member, right? Or Control M. We're going to go to a test subject. I'm going to put in test. Test. I'm going to hit binoculars right here. It's going to pull up test. We're going to use testy here. Again, red, inactive. We're going to double click. It will autofill over here. Bingo. Again, carriers there. There's the name. There's the date of birth, eligibility, group number, everything we used to seeing. Okay? Now, we're going back to ID card request. You hit Info tab 2. Now, where it says card date here, it's when the system updates itself, which will be tomorrow or in January 1, 2019. It'll have a date in there. Let's just say it's 12/12, 1965. The By removing the date in the pre-populated card date right here, you remove it. When you remove it, you highlight it, you delete it. In doing that, you send out a card to everybody who is under that member's name. Okay? All family members will be included by requesting the card for one family member. So number of cards, they'll probably say 1, they'll say 2. How many members are in there? This is test. There's a date that's going to be in here. Again, we highlight, we remove, delete. It's going to send a card to every member under every family member under this member. Okay. The third thing we're going to talk about. Okay. You have that? The next thing we're going to talk about, you can pause as you need to. The next thing you can talk about is PA information, prior authorization information. How do we find that? Okay. Again, we have all the information here. We can get rid of this over here because we have all the information here. Okay. Well, let's go back to Info 1. There's our guy. There's Testy. Now, under Info tab 1, you go to where it says Member Options, and you go to MPA, Member Prior Authorization. You double click. If there is medication that has prior authorization, it will be listed here. Now, what will be listed here that you'll see is the group number, the effective date, and all of that. If there was prior authorization, you have numbers here, which is the drug. You'll have all these numbers here, brand name, all this stuff will be filled in. And you'll be able to look up by what? Clicking on the binocular. Okay? This will look, it won't give us a drug. Okay? it will give you the group name. And I hit it too much, so I apologize for that. It just brings it up as City of Germantown, lets you know what group they're in. Okay, that's what that group number is. What companies they work for. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Don't need to get that right now. Now, what's really nice about this is now we've done a PA. If there was information for a PA, it would be listed here. All right. Now, that's all we're going to do about PAs now. We're going to learn how to look them up, and we've done that. We're going to X out of here, get out of there, go back to info 1. There's our testing. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to do is transaction lookup. In other words, what's the RX history? Okay, managed meds, things like that. That's what we want to look up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up the screen. We're going to slide down to look up, and we're going to slide over to transaction lookup by clicking on that. It's waiting for a response. It's taking its time. And now you can pull it over here. In the old system, we had to go back and forth while losing data. Now you can just pull them out and have all the screens separated by themselves. Okay? Information is right there in front of you. Now, another thing you'll see is when you look up a member, all the way down here, it'll give you information that is updated daily. What copays have been paid year to date? What is their deductible? Now, this is the testing. So this is just input information, but you'll have that information there, and it is updated daily by the minute if something is done. Now, transaction lookup. So what's great about this is, how do we get the information from here, the member who's on the phone, to here? We find the member ID, we go to the binoculars, and we do a right click. When you do a right click, it's going to pull all of the information over here. So what I'm going to do, because this is a fake patient, so I'm going to go out of here. I'm going to pull in a real one. I'm going to clear all. We'll use Gonzalez. We're going to do a search. Let's pick Chase Gonzalez because I like the name. We double click, right? And it's going to fill in all of the data right here. We can get rid of this field. Don't need that. Now, what are we doing now? Transaction lookup. Screen. Lookup. Slide over. Transaction lookup. Another field's going to come into play. And we're going to slide it over so we can have access to it. Okay? Member ID. That member ID number, see the ID number? We're going to right click there, and it's going to autofill that. Okay? We got claim information, we got claim response, and we got raw data. Now, show all claims. Show all claims. We have the member data here. Okay? It's pulling from here. It's pulling from here. We click on seek. There are no matches for this section. Why is that so? Okay, let me run back up real quick to make sure we have this proper. Scenes, look up, transaction. Looking it up. Let's pull it over here. And let's seek. Okay, so I don't confuse you. We'll go back real quick. Transaction lookup. Chase Gonzalez. We want to find out what happened to that last transaction, that last prescription they tried to fill, right? Screen, look up transaction. Another screen pulls up. Again, we're going to slide it over so we have access to it, complete access. And we're going to go straight here to where it says seek, show claim info. Okay? We click on seek. Now, this is all the information you need. Patient's first and last name, as you can see, the group number, all of this data. Okay? So, right click, member ID, you click on seek. Now, you see where it says no matches for this selection? That means this particular person, Chase Gonzalez, does not have any medication. Okay? So what I did was I had to get rid of this. And I just did seek so we could see something. Now this is Barbara Bollinger. So just to show you that I am doing the right thing, we're going to put in Bollinger. We're going to cut that out. We're going to clear this. I'm going to put in Bollinger. I'm going to press on that. I'm going to find Barbara. There's Miss Barbara. See, Barbara Bollinger. Select her. Double click. And all her data is going to autofill. Let's get rid of this. We don't need to look at that. Now, Ms. Bollinger calls in, transaction lookup. What do we do, guys? Screens. Lookup. Transaction. It'll take its time. We slide it over. Member ID. Right click. It pulls that data there. And then if I do seek, it's going to pull up Barbara's information. All of this data, the bin number they use, what you're going to see here is technically and is what the pharmacist has put in. The date the prescription was written, December 9th. Number of refills authorized, 12. Day supply, 31. All of this information is here for you. Okay? You got the name, the date of birth. I know it looks different, but it's here. The group number. Okay? The pharmacy number. That's the pharmacy who filled it. The date. This is the date it's going to be filled next. Okay? That's 31 January 2019. So this gives you the transaction information. Someone calls up, and then what does it say here? Reject 7 times. That means they tried to put this in 7 times. Day supply exceeds plan limitation. This is one of these calls where you would be like, what is going on? And you call Theta or you call Paul. So that's how you look up a transaction lookup. Okay? Now, the information will change based on the tab you selected. This is claim information. This is claim response. Okay? The plan, they're with Hertz Company. Raw data, you never want to use that. It's too much information. Now, look right here. See, his record 15 of 15. Okay? So you can go back and look at the next drug because she has all of these. This one, reject 40, pharmacy not contracted with plan on date of service. So this is a lot of rejections here. Reversal accepted. This is going through, see 13 of 15? This is telling you her entire transaction history. There are 15 separate transactions. So now what do you have to do? You want to find a particular transaction. Okay? The seek criteria. You don't go there. You click on seek, and now it has 15 of 15. Okay? Right here, date of transaction. It tells you where it is. This is recent, as you can see. Okay? So you'll have to go through these and find out which transaction she wants. It'll show paid. Okay? Now let's go back to seek transaction. show claim info. Okay, let's say show and list and say seek. Now, when you show and list, it's going to show you all of the transactions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, hey, Mrs. Bollinger, what are you looking for? Which transaction is it, Ms. Bollinger? You click show in list. You see all of the transactions, and then you select, oh, it's the one on December 29th. There's several on there. So let's go to the first one. You click it, double click it, and then you have all the information. Is this and okay? And last but not least, as you can see, it shows paid, it shows the drug and all of that, and you're good to go. Okay. Last but not least, call tracking. What you see is call tracking. Now, I'm going to get rid of this. When it comes to call tracking, let's get rid of this. There are two things you're always going to have up. You're going to have up your member search, and you have your call tracking. Call tracking is the same thing as comments. So for call tracking, you can do shortcut, Control K. You Control K, it'll show up, and again, you'll have it there. Or if you go the traditional route, you go screens all the way down to customer service, call tracking, Control K. Okay? Now, what we want to do is we want to go to our member, test, search. All our data is going to be pulled over here. Once we select the guy we want test testy. We have all the data coming up here. We'll get rid of this. Now, what we want is, we've just called, test testy called, we want to do an episode, or we want to do a comment, same thing, comment equals episode. We click on episode. Again, these two screens, blank, are always open because you're always going to search a member and you're always going to put in a comment. So, episode, you go all the way to the right and click on action. You're going to create a new episode. You click on create a new episode. Now, you see where it says member? You don't have to type in the member's name. You do a right click on the binoculars and it fills in all of the data. It fills in the test, the name, the group number, and you're in business. Now, you click on next. Okay? Now, these are all the episodes that are listed here. You want to create a new one. These are ones that have been done already, okay? We've worked through these, and you'll see they've been resolved. So this way you know, okay, that's good. So I don't have to worry about that. There's nothing I need to look at. So I'm going to say, if I want to look at one, I'd click on one and click open. But I'm going to create a new episode. He called in. I gave him PA information. So I click finish, and it's going to allow me over here to start putting in data. Boom, boom, boom. It fills in. There's the member. So it's ready to get information. We put new note. New note shows up here. Let's bring it here so we can look at it. And we type in PA info. And we'll just zoom in verified PA info. We finish. And look, right there, subject PA info. You're done. You resolved this. That's all you did. You gave out information. Paul doesn't have to call back. You click resolved. You click OK. And then you'll see movement down here. Boom. It's been done. It's been resolved. That is your training. Member search, M+3. ID card, PA information, transaction lookup, call tracking. That's all you have. That's all you need for now. Real quick, look up eligibility, member, right? Member search, or control plus M gets you this. If you're going to change an ID or you want to send out an ID, you go to info 2. Again, the card date will be listed here. Okay, member address. All you do is delete the card date. It automatically sends out an ID request to everybody. Now, you're looking at someone, a member's name's in here. We'll say Smith A. We hit binoculars. We want to continue. Yes. We'll find one that's not in red because red means what, people? It means they are inactive. So we go Abigail Smith. It autofills. We get rid of the extra. We want to look up PA information. Where do we go? Info tab 1, MPA. Double click. If there's any information, any PAs listed, it will be under here. There is none here. Now, transaction lookup, we want to find out what's going on, and we want to see if she has anything. Look up transaction, looks up any pharmacies, any prescriptions she tried to put in. That's what that is. We right-click the member ID. It pulls in the member ID from here, right? Abigail Smith. Same one, right? 810, 810, 810. And we seek. If nothing comes up, she has not been given any drugs. Okay? That's transaction lookup. And last but not least is we have to make a comment, right? On everything we do, we have to make a comment. So real quickly, where do we go for comments, guys? You got it. You go screen, you go customer service, you go call tracking, or you go control K. Bingo. It is there. You get it. It's an episode now. It's not a comment. You click on episodes. Okay. You want to create a new one. You create a new episode. You fill in the member by simply pulling it from here. By doing a right click on the binoculars, it fills it in. You do next. You do create. It shows up the info. You do finish. You're not finished yet though, right? It gives you the info. It drops it in here. And now you do a new note. Click it. We're done. If you have any questions, ask myself. Thank you for your time.